Attention envelope. Prepare to be pushed.
Oh, well played.
Hey.
Heyo. Pushing the envelope. Is that what we're getting at?
Andrew Morales, Web Willie. We'll call you Web Willie.
That's alliterative. I
Yes.
like it.
Yes. The wonderful Web Willie joining me today.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it. Prefer Just Willie, but Web Willie works today.
So today we are doing a podcast on the Facebook page, Morales on the Mic Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Morales on the Mic, no spaces. Morales is how you spell Morales. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you wouldn't be able to be watching this if I didn't say it right now.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That was sort of moot, everything
Yeah.
you just said.
Anyway, you're watching a podcast. We've got two cameras going, too, for this.
So I'm going to say hi to the camera.
Yeah.
Hi, camera.
You're going to do the traditional hi, Mom thing?
I
going
am.
on?
Hi, Mom. And the other 4 people who are watching.
and the other 4 people, none of which are related to me, because that's just asking too much. Anyway, so we've got cameras going. This is an online-only podcast. We'll do a live show on Tuesday, which is the 17th. I'm not doing a day-specific podcast because, well, this may be the last one we do for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
so
but it's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I kind of like the whole plan. It was sort of a spur-of-the-moment idea, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
cameras
I like
and
it.
stuff, audio that sounds all right.
Yeah, I think it sounds really good.
It's like she knew.
It is like she knew. I know. My mom's calling. I'm not going to show everyone, but my mom's calling me.
So yeah, we do have the podcast going. This was my kind of way of apologizing for the last 2 shows being off the airs. I did I would have done a show last Friday, the 13th, and but as luck would have it, see what I did there?
I do see what you did.
I had to produce 2 shows on our sister station, WFOI 102.1 FM and AM 1240 in the morning, and I think it's funny. There's a 9 a.m. show I'm not a huge fan of that I had to produce on Friday, and I was like, I think Willie was actively trying to take longer than that hour to get to the radio station.
Hey, man, I hit traffic. There was all kinds of traffic.
What? Traffic in St. Augustine?
There was
no.
so much traffic. Even if I'd wanted to be here, I couldn't be here till 9:50. So
What?
it didn't
are
work
the
out
odds?
really well at all or anything like that.
So we're doing this podcast, and again, with Monday's show, the reason why I couldn't do it was I was actually, I had spent the whole weekend in Orlando. I saw Styx in concert, which was actually, when I was a kid, I listened to Styx. I didn't listen to like pop music. I couldn't really stand it. Okay, I listened to boy bands, but I don't like to admit that. So I listened to Styx, and I went and saw them in concert with my dad and my 2 brothers and one of my friends, my friend Joseph. And we went, and it was a phenomenal concert. I mean, absolutely.
I was seeing the pictures you
such
were posting.
great
It looked
showmen.
Cool. Looked like a lot of fun.
Well, and I was about 30 feet away, dead center. Was how cool that was.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. It was a loud concert, like ridiculously loud concert.
Like your ears were bleeding a little bit.
maybe just
a
a little
over
bit.
the top loud.
For me, I'm kind of used to that loud because that's what I do with DJing. It's loud music. People enjoy loud music in short bursts. But when I have to hear it a lot, very frequently, it sometimes causes some hearing loss.
Yeah, I can see where that might start to happen eventually.
But so anyway, I decided to do this podcast, and then just spur of the moment decided, why not try a video podcast?
Yeah, which really is neat. It's in this whole new dimension. I mean, people get to see how handsome I am. It's everything.
How ugly I am.
It's everything I ever wanted from life.
Everything you wanted out of this show, yeah. Which,
and I had high expectations. Let me tell you.
Well, I'm glad that makes one of us. Out of our 5 listeners, me and you, that's one of us.
That's good.
That had high expectations.
Well, I'm really bringing it home for the team.
So I just had I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and I felt it'd be pretty easy. It'd be a lot easier, yeah. Just when you're wondering when I'm doing the show live and you just hear this like creaking noise, that's the sound of my microphone moving in the background.
I was just thinking, there's so many things that our listeners don't ordinarily get to understand, like
like the orange microphone,
and the whole antenna thing.
That's not
which
working
now.
right
Isn't
now.
working. Why the one day I get to show people why it happens, it's not working.
I think I may have fixed that. Just
Look at you. This is the green microphone. For anyone who remembers Jason Welty talking about the green microphone, this is it.
Yeah, that's the color of wasabi.
Yeah, sort of. Kind of gross wasabi.
And please notice, it is on while no one is sitting in front of it.
Yeah, that seems asinine.
Don't question it.
All right, I won't.
We only have one microphone input on the entire soundboard.
Yeah.
Which I may have to. Yeah. I'm plugged into a charger. I'm scared all hell's gonna break loose. The board
Too
is
many variables right now.
The board is sitting right in front of me. It is scary. This is the computer I have to handle everything on, directly behind where I sit.
This is the blank wall directly behind where I sit.
Willie is that way. I'm talking to my camera now.
I'm going to show everyone Andrew, so everyone gets to know how we're working.
So
here.
this is where we sit. But the worst part is, and I've said this before, I like looking at the person I'm talking to.
It's polite.
But the phone system that I have to look at is behind me when I'm talking to Willie. So in other words, my head's got to be on like this locked swivel, and it's like gyroscope my shoulder.
And God forbid we get the computer involved.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, because then it's I got to sit there and do this the whole time. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm on the Morales on the Mic Facebook page too, because that's how self-centered I am, I guess. Anyway, just kidding. Just to give you a little look into what it looks like when we do our show every day.
This is where the magic happens.
So we will be doing a live show, a rare live show on a Tuesday morning with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's ever happened, has it?
No, we did one on a Wednesday because your class was canceled and you came in.
Which that also never happens.
Yes. Also, just one more thing to pay attention to. Look at my microphone and look at Willie's microphone. Obviously, note to myself, cut to Willie's camera right here.
My really fancy high-tech microphone.
Yeah, this industry standard microphone, the Electro Voice RE20. We have one of them. Then we have two Heil no-names.
Yep.
And that is the brand.
Yeah, we're really living the high life in this studio.
Anyway, so now I can get to, now that we spent 10 minutes sort of bashing the studio, the redheaded stepchild that is.
It's okay. The studio knows.
WAOC
The
studio
knows we love it. We're all.
I can't stand it. I don't love it.
Yes, you do.
I'd do this from my living room.
Don't lie to the studio.
I would do this in my living room if I could.
We should look into that.
Well, I mean, I've got a microphone at home. I can do it, no problem.
I don't have a microphone at home.
Yeah, well, having two people in two different places host a show is it's getting way too high tech for this place.
It sounds like a cop-out, Andrew.
Well,
I've got faith in you.
It partially is, but I deal with so many technical difficulties every day. I don't really want to deal with any more. Just because we made it harder for ourselves.
So you don't want me to turn every knob in here, in the entire station, to something different before I
go ahead. Half of them don't do anything anyway. The other half are like covered or locked.
Well, now I'm gonna.
Without me having a key.
Just wait, I'm gonna.
Don't believe me? Just watch. Is that what you're trying to say here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
That's a good song. I like that song.
I do. I like that song a lot.
It's a fresh song.
It is. Well, I like that Bruno Mars does that kind of like big band sound.
Yes.
It's wildly underutilized, and I
and
think
sounds a lot better than
it does sound a lot better when you can get some brass in there. Get a little. I mean, obviously it's too easy a word, but get a little funk to it. It's great.
I see what you did there.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I was trying to make it very obvious.
Well,
I succeeded.
Crystal clear. But what I like about it is, and this you and I differ in some places. I have to really, 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 really be in the mood to listen to rap music, and even then, there's not much I like listening to.
Now I'm pretty specific in it. It's definitely not my go-to. I really like, if I were gonna pick anything in the world, and this is discounting Broadway musicals because those kind of top the list for me.
Oh, I love Broadway musicals. I'm right there with
for
you.
that
We are
embarrassing
two
revelation.
very straight men.
Very, very straight men who really, I like Broadway. So there it is. But other than that,
And as
I
they
really
say in
like,
Spamalot, you won't succeed on Broadway if you don't have any Jews. I mean, it's true.
Amen to that. But no, I really like folksy music, kind of picking mandolin, throw a little fiddle in there.
Then I got some songs I should probably play. Yeah.
Nice.
What's funny is Bare Naked Ladies are adult contemporary, but they've got so many different styles to their music that they've got a couple like bluegrass folksy type songs.
Nice. I recently discovered a husband-wife duo that I have just been digging like crazy.
I just want to toss some of this in while we're talking.
Yeah, good call.
So, this song is one of the newer songs. I mean, it came out like a couple months ago. It's got that big band feel. It's probably significantly quieter than everything we're saying. Again,
Probably.
State of the art.
anyway. So, what I like about it is it's different from all the, hey, let's go bang somebody, let's go, kill somebody. The what is considered, I guess the term would be gangster rap right now.
I think
that
so.
is
I think
popular.
that's appropriate. I don't know that gangster rap is really what I would think is popular in terms of dominating the market.
No,
I mean,
dominating the market right now is hip hop.
Yeah, even that.
Really, you don't think? Okay, we'll call it pop. Just because pop is everything.
Yeah, pop is everything, but like
is
pop
defined
just
as
feels,
pop culture.
Yeah, it feels like I don't know. I'm totally cool with just rocking out to this for a little while.
Yeah, see, but the advantages to a podcast, I can do whatever I damn well please now.
I know, right? The rules are out the window.
Like I said, memo to the envelope, prepared to be pushed.
Looking forward to it.
Anyway, so this music though, this is catchy.
This is catchy.
And with the exception of
Great
this
song.
one line where he says, "Fill my cup, put some liquor in it." Not really talking about substance abuse.
Yeah. And even fill my cup, put liquor in it. I mean,
Right.
people drink.
It could be a request. Yeah, it's not about
I don't think that's crazy.
it's not about abusing.
It's not fill my cup, put liquor in it, let me drain it, fill it up again, let me drain it again, fill it up again, let me drain it
Red
again
Solo
until I can't stand.
Or another terrible example would be Timber by Tame would be fill my cup, put some liquor in it. It's going down, I'm yelling timber. I'm so drunk I'm about to fall like a tree would.
Yeah.
Is Kesha's example. Or, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. That's borderline alcoholism.
I mean, anytime we look to Kesha as our moral compass, we're in trouble. So I'm gonna say I'm not too worried.
She
about
spells
what
her
Kesha's
name
got going on.
with a $.
It is spelled KE$HA.
Yeah, Joel McHale on The Soup would call her KE $, huh?
Yeah. She brought that upon herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. She spells her name with a $.
Well, which kind of those who listen to the show know how tangenty I get. So, is tangenty a word?
You just became one.
It became one.
If it wasn't,
It is now a word, tangenty.
It's a little tangenty.
But I get a little tangenty. The Comedy Central roast of Justin Bieber was like I think it was 2 nights ago, the night Styx was playing. I'm pretty sure. And there was like a BuzzFeed thing that was showing the best jokes of the night. Why are people so sensitive to this crap? It's a roast. The idea behind it is to insult the person. It actually is designed to make them come off as humble. You're willing to take jokes about yourself.
Are people being sensitive about Justin Bieber?
Oh my God, yes.
Really?
All the comments the comment section of that BuzzFeed, man, they were laying it on real thick. They're being way too mean to, this kid. He's just a kid. He's a victim of his circumstance. No.
What circumstance?
I grew up
being rich and famous. That's
Right.
not a circumstance. That's a dream.
I've lived the exact same amount of time. Well, okay, maybe a little less amount of time than Justin Bieber has. He's only a couple months older than me. And maturity-wise, I'm light years ahead of him. But never once have I crashed my Lamborghini under the influence of several drugs.
I've never been able to say my Lamborghini without lying.
Well, I qualify under two of those things. I was kind of glossing over the fact that I said I've never crashed my Lamborghini. Speaking of, I'm driving a rental car right now, and I've got the 2015 Chevy Cruze. I was like, now how much of an upgrade would it be for me to get the Opel Speedster? You've got a Ferrari F50 probably somewhere, or a Lamborghini Murcielago
lying around.
Yeah, they're just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, what's the daily fee on that one? It's like $700 a day.
That's not as bad as I
Plus
thought.
the insurance. Mine costs $500 for the week. Is what mine costs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good looking car.
Yeah, it is. It drives nice. I like driving it. Anyway, so yeah, people were getting so overly sensitive about Justin Bieber. He's a victim of circumstance. He doesn't know what he's done. He doesn't know that what he's doing is wrong. He's had no moral compass. Well, there are tons of there are very many child celebrities that are still okay. The ones who have Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe
works with the UN. It's amazing.
But there are people there are great examples of kids that went the right way. The problem is we're so sensationalized by the media, we don't care about those. They're not big.
Well, why would we tell stories about people who are following the rules and doing things well and making a good, a huge difference
when we can make something terrible out of it?
Although I do see a decent amount of coverage about Emma Watson and what she's doing, which I think is really nice. I think it's good that we're recognizing the strides she's making. Especially as a child actress.
But what about people like Elijah Wood? No one really talks about him. He started young.
Yeah.
And I'm even younger. You hear about the Sprouse twins, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
Neither one of them has gone bonkers.
Since they were like infants, they've been acting.
Yeah. They were in Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
They were on Friends in 1998.
Yeah. They've been around for a while, and they're still well off.
What are they doing?
Oh, I mean, I believe Cole Sprouse is an actor still, and I think Dylan still does acting too. But Dylan actually studied was studying video game design or graphic design or something.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, talk about really making something out of himself.
Well, and acting like a normal person
instead of playing the Disney "Turn Me Into a Felon" card. Which, if you look at it,
a lot of those.
But I mean, there's been a lot of successes too. But again, no one really talks about the successes.
I know we do love to sensationalize. We focus on the bad because people are interested. You see someone, the prime example, and I come back to this one all the time. But when the Malaysian Airlines flight was missing, and CNN did 24/7 coverage for 6 weeks, and every day all they had to say was they're looking. And they've not
found anything.
And still they were covering it nonstop. It was like the top of the hour, the bottom of the hour. They revisited in the middle every single day. And it was amazing to think that people could even be watching a story telling us that we don't know anything different. That's nuts.
This is a note to myself, but I'm going to try to edit in post-production a clip from the Colbert Report where he talks about CNN's coverage of the Malaysian Airlines disappearance.
I look forward to seeing that.
Hopefully I can get it in. Anyway, if I can, it goes right here.
Thanks so much. Welcome back, everybody. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right with you in just a minute. I've got to check something out, folks. I'm sorry. I'm just checking on the latest updates from the CNN on the search for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. See, they're anticipating the release of a long-awaited Malaysian government report on the disappearance right now. It should be coming in any moment. Let me just check every possible source for that story. No, okay. Until then, I am constantly refreshing my email and I am toggling my iPhone in and out of airplane mode. And of course, I am staying glued to the CNN.
Will, give us the latest.
The latest is we keep checking our phones and are refreshing our email inboxes to see when this report comes in. We're being told that this report is going to come to us via email sometime around this time. It's going to be coming in via email. We've been constantly checking our inboxes. Literally, we are clicking refresh several times a minute to see when this report comes in.
We're waiting and anticipating this report. As we've been reporting, the Malaysian authorities report is expected any minute now. Any minute now.
Any minute now.
Will Ripley is live there in Kuala Lumpur watching his email as we are here.
We have to wait on it, obviously, to get the details, but there are some things that we can expect to see.
You want the real basics. You want the who, the when, and the where.
Okay, let me just make a note. Okay, let me just make a note of that. Okay. I want to thank you for those words, okay, that you said. All right. You know, folks. I gotta say that CNN's Richard Quest is the perfect newsman for this tragedy because his accent makes any report Shakespearean. Specifically, the tragedy of Macbeth, because it's a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Yet. But let's refresh our emails and nothing. Okay, so let's check in on another source, the Magic 8 Ball, and okay, there is definitely something floating in there. Could be the debris. Let's check. And okay, ask again later. We will check in with the 8 Ball later. In the meantime, for a different perspective, let's sacrifice tonight's news chicken. Okay? All right. And then I will read its entrails. Hear me, O pre-human primordial nether gods. Oh, hold on. It's worth the report's just coming in. Hold on. What do we have here? Okay, it's going to be a hot summer. There will be a blood rain, and oh my God, the lambs will be stillborn. Unfortunately, nothing in here about the plane. Oh, wait. That sound means CNN has finally received the Malaysian report. Yes. Jimmy, let's go live.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. The Malaysian authorities have released their first report on what happened. Let's get live right away to Kuala Lumpur. Will Ripley is there with the news. What do we know, Will? What do you see?
Hey, Chris, yeah, this is the 5-page report I have in my hand right now. We just printed it out, and I have to say, as I'm scanning through it, as we have been saying, there really are no big surprises here.
No big surprise there.
Great, wasn't that funny?
That was so funny. I loved it, every minute of it.
And if it wasn't, we just look like major asses.
That's not that different from normal, though.
True. Especially now that we have cameras.
I know, that's the worst.
Circling back.
Everyone keeps seeing me look at myself.
Good music. Gangster rap's bad music. I don't like it.
I love Eminem.
Eminem's all right. He's got some good songs. He's got some inspiration. He's got a story at least behind him.
I think Eminem does a lot of very real life stuff. I mean, the majority of his best songs are about things that were going on in his life. And I mean, he came from a rough upbringing, like really, really rough. Dr. Dre kind of raised him up, and he's been so loyal to Dr. Dre.
Oh, he lived in Detroit. Nothing gets... I
know.
Talk about a place I don't want to go to ever.
I would rather live in, like, Iran,
yeah,
I think.
Probably.
It's like, at least that's
It'd
exotic.
Probably be nicer.
There's different kind of food. That'd be kind of cool.
Iran is better than Detroit. You heard it here on Morales on the Mic.
If anyone from Detroit sees this, I'm sorry, but we live in paradise.
Compared to anyone else
in
Detroit.
And I just feel sad thinking about Detroit, and it makes me not want to be there. So,
or even sometimes a lot of places in Chicago, not necessarily urban Chicago, but rural Chicago, is it's just terrible.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I've only ever been to the middle of the city.
Right, you don't really want to deal with it's the crime there, the interaction of the people. It's weird. It's almost like they had a really bad senator representing them for a long time.
I see what you did there.
Weird. Anyway. Oh, wow. Yes, there's my slut shaming of Obama on today's show.
You snuck that in nicely. Just right there.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to so many tangents. Anyway, I just can't stand some of the newer music. Drives me up a wall. The newer rap music. You know, there songs about some girl's butt. Songs about I'm being totally serious.
Are you trying to tell me that's not good substantive content?
I'm all about
music?
that. I'm all about that bass. But
no treble?
No treble.
Some treble?
Maybe a little treble. Because you need it in order to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm all about that bass.
Getting out of hand.
I just don't get why you have to make gangster rap music be so popular. And the only I'm talking songs like Young, Wild, and Free, which is a catchy tune, but it's so what we get drunk, so what we smoke weed, we're just having fun, we don't care who sees. Basically telling people, teenagers, who is their main listening audience, that's all okay. Because they're young, wild, and free.
Yeah.
Why is that okay?
Because people will pay for it.
And then there are songs like My N-Word or N-Words in Paris. And of course, there's not a hard ER on the end. Therefore, it's not a racial term. If it ends with A, it's totally fine.
Then it's just a little more gangster.
Right, right, exactly. So, excuse me. This is, again, a little look into when you suddenly hear my mic go dark, it's...
That was lovely.
Yeah, I can't breathe. Anyway, so why? I went into my Christopher Walken voice there for a second.
Yeah, you did.
Why? So going back to my normal voice, I gotta abandon my train of thought here. The Oklahoma University fraternity Sigma Alpha Epsilon,
right?
SAE. That has been in the news because of their racist chant,
right?
That they did, which I've seen it. It is a racist chant.
Yeah, we touched on this a bit Friday.
We did.
Sorry to get
Thursday
to it.
show. Yeah,
Thursday.
But we did talk about it, and we mentioned it, but I only had like 4 minutes. to talk about it.
Yeah, it was right at the end.
The problem I have with it. And this is just true in a lot of things, and I want to play this clip from MSNBC, is why is a single word, okay for one group of people to say, but is a racially charged, terrible, demonic, demonized word if another group says it?
Historical context.
Wonderful.
That's the best I got for you.
But worthy of legal action?
Well,
because the only reason why it has meaning is the historical thing.
But I mean, what legal action?
Well, legal action or I don't know what you would consider getting expelled.
Administrative action.
Administrative action. But still, it fits under the same sort of category. In other words, if you were to make it illegal, in other words, if someone got fired for something like that and there was no sort of agreement to that, again, it's more just a point that why can you punish one group of people for saying a word, but not punish another group of people for saying a word? Is if I said, well, I'm trying to think of a word that, because I would classify as there are racial slurs for Spanish people.
There are racial slurs for the Irish too.
There are racial slurs for anyone.
I know.
But my grandparents watch this, so I don't want to drop the Spanish one and have them like disown me.
I think that's probably a good idea. Avoiding racial slurs in general is
But
is cool.
let's be real here. Let's just use a new word. We'll say bumblebee. Yeah. So if I call you a bumblebee, and we'll say you're of Irish descent, and you call me a bumblebee, and I'm of high V's, we'll say. I'm high V's, get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tracking with you.
So, you're such a bumblebee, man. This is so juvenile.
Yeah, this is. But continue, because I'm interested. I'm interested in the end game.
It's making a point. Is you're such a bumblebee. You take no offense to that. No. Oh, you're my bumblebee. Right?
Right.
Totally not a problem.
Yeah, no.
Now you call me a bumblebee.
Andrew, you're a bumblebee.
Whoa. What the hell, man? That's, that's insulting against my heritage, my home, blah, blah, blah. Now, I understand words have more than one meaning, but we're getting really extreme here. And also the fact that if a white person says, you're my fill in the blank here, versus a black person saying, you're my, one is terrible and borderline racist, unless you're a wannabe black kid, because I know people that are like that too, that for some reason have to, they feel like they should be black. And I'm not, just be proud of who you are. Don't emulate someone else. That's my lesson there.
I'm going to jump back to your bumblebee point, though, because I get it. Bumblebee, if we're offended by words, that's silly.
Exactly.
Now, the difference would be if I called you a bumblebee and you got offended because historically
let's say historically we were considered dumb people of Hivelandia.
And we called you bumblebees.
Right.
You might have reason to be upset about that.
As a person, I may have reason to be irritated with that. But as a society, it really shouldn't matter. If we're and even as a society, if you want to play the emotions card, that's fine. But it should not warrant an administrative, a civil, a legal action.
I think in this case specifically, now I think that there are times that I would agree with you on that. But here, I mean, like we said Thursday, you and I both listened to this, and I don't think it would matter what words they used. The message that they were getting across, if I were OU, I would say these kids in no way embody or understand the values that we are trying to portray from our university, and I would throw them out in a heartbeat.
And I don't want people thinking that I am supporting that.
I'm not in any way trying to get to the idea that you do. I just think that it's not the words they used, it was the message conveyed by what they said and what that says about those students and their values. And I think that right there is enough that me, as Oklahoma University, I would say get them out. I don't want them here.
And I understand that. And again, the only problem I have there, which we mentioned on Thursday, is the fact that it is a public university. Therefore, they are infringing on their freedom of speech to say that, to have them expelled, unless there is a supplemental code of conduct. And then it's just a whole other thing where you're abandoning rights by becoming a student, which we discussed on Thursday. If you missed it, sorry.
Well, also keep in mind when you're talking about freedom of speech that they still have their freedom to say it. They can say it all they want. They're allowed to say it all they want. You're not freedom to say whatever you want, free from any kind of possible consequence. Now, if they had said those things and the government showed up, put black bags over their heads, threw them in Guantanamo Bay, and left them there forever because they said something that the government didn't like, then by all means, you've got a First Amendment violation. If you get expelled from your university because you said something that the university didn't like, I mean, I'm going to go back. I'm a Florida
Well,
State. I'm a Florida State alum.
Yeah.
So I paid, more than the average amount of attention to everything that was happening with Jameis Winston.
Right.
And when he said that inappropriate thing in the student union and
Yeah.
all that, and he was penalized, you could make the argument that was a freedom of speech violation.
Well, it was.
And personally, I hated that. I was furious that he was being punished for what he said.
Right.
Because he said a silly thing. He jumped up on a table and said something
And
silly.
something that is
the whole
viral.
internet knows.
Everyone knows what
I
it
know.
is. That,
and I agree with you.
And that's what leads me to my second argument in this whole situation.
Just to finish, though, with what Jameis said, I think the university made their point that kind of vulgar language and behavior was not suitable for someone in a leadership position such as his to be yelling in the middle of campus, and they exercised,
especially when he's in the spotlight. Except
they exercised their right to punish him for what they thought was inappropriate behavior.
Punish him anyway.
Punish him.
Yeah.
I think any suspension for what he did there was silly. There's the use of the word silly again, but I
agree. But
punish Jameis for plenty of things, and in the court of public opinion, Lord knows he has been. But in that instance, I think they took it too far. But at the same time, the university has that right. It is their right to say, we don't agree with what's being communicated through these statements, and we want to make sure that our students understand that this is not who we are, what we are, and we don't want it to continue.
Here's another thing that's happening a lot more now, and we saw it with Brian Williams when all his stuff came out, where he attended the birth of Christ.
Obviously.
Anyway.
I was just watching Mankind, the story of all of us, and he was there.
He was
when
there.
It started.
Yeah.
The cradle of civilization.
The Big Bang Theory. He watched.
He had some commentary on it because he was there.
Anyway, is with the rising convenience and the advantages in the advances in technology, where a camera can be taken anywhere and be moved anywhere. I took pictures at a concert using a device that I carry in my pocket every single day.
Right.
I didn't have to bring a second camera so I could actually take pictures at this concert on Saturday.
Right.
Is fundamentally, how long has that chant actually been a part of SAE's fraternity at Oklahoma? Or even wider spread, but the only reason why it's in the spotlight is because a video was taken. And it was probably a drunk kid thinking it was hilarious, and it somehow ended up online.
And how many people never go to jail for murder because no one has any proof that it happened?
No, I agree. But there are different levels of, one is surveillance, the other is, if I had it my way, everyone would have their own camera on them at all times.
That would probably help save a lot of people. Speaking as a law student, I can absolutely see
the property is yours. It's up to you whether you use it or not. I'm not saying it's some governmental thing, but if you thought about it, every person should have some form of a recording device on them at all times, so they can prove they can back themselves up. Like you said, from a legal perspective, that makes a ton of sense.
It would make life a lot easier for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It would make life a lot harder for a lot of criminal defendants.
Exactly.
Unless, of course, it was entirely theirs and couldn't be subpoenaed, which would make everything just pointless.
But you see what I'm saying, and so
I do. I think that'd be neat.
Is the rising of these videos and stuff coming out is. It's probably been a thing, a chant. It's probably there was a group of people chanting that chant. It wasn't like one kid was just saying it out loud.
No, I mean, I wouldn't guess that they made it up on the spot.
Well, exactly.
But who knows how long they've been doing it or how many people know it.
Well, and the dorm mother that was involved in it, too, and had been saying stuff like that, too. But where I think the problem is we've become, the youth of America has become so desensitized in music. In our media, in our television shows. Think about when the CMAs were on the air, the Country Music Awards, a couple months ago. ABC had just released their new show, I can't think of the guy's name, the actor in it. Anyway, Wednesday's called Blackish. And that 1 hour was moved. Yeah, but the 1 hour was moved because the CMAs were on ABC. And Trace Adkins or Toby Keith, one of the country singers, gets up and says, usually during this time a show called Blackish is on. Well, this is Whitish. Basically saying the Country Music Awards were called Whitish.
Right.
Now, Blackish, television show about a black family doing black things, black people, literally like the concept behind the show.
Right.
Is essentially a Tyler Perry comedy, but still. Blackish,
good God,
totally fine. He mentions Whitish. He calls the Country Music Awards Whitish. All hell broke loose. Still playing that victim card.
That's tough because it's
12 more ticks on the victim card and you get a free t-shirt.
It's certainly farther away from where we were.
Even better, 12 more ticks on the victim.
Just a little while ago.
12 more ticks on the victim card and you get a free pity party.
Well, I could use a pity party. I need to get me one of those victim cards.
Yeah. Can I cash in? But I'm just providing an example where it's like we've become oversensitized to some things and then desensitized to other things. And in rap, the N-word is used so many times. There is a song called My N-word that someone was listening to that I asked them to turn it off. I was driving in a car with a friend, and he plugged in his phone and started playing it. And I go, could you turn that off? I don't, I feel wrong listening to it because I don't like the word anyway. I'm not a person that uses that word.
Right.
I don't approve of it. I don't condone it. Whether you're black, white, yellow, purple, green, or
orange.
I'm colorblind, so it doesn't matter anyway. But I don't want anyone to use it. That's more at the heart of my thing is either everyone should be able to use it or no one should be able to use it. But picking and choosing who can use it based on something that happened in the past is okay on an emotional level, but not on a socially acceptable level, on a legally acceptable level, or even a morally acceptable level. Why is it okay for a black man to call someone his N-word, but if a white person says, hey, what's up, my N-word, it's a racial term?
Well, let's play a little hypothetical game. Do you think...
This is all hypothetical.
I know.
But this is actually kind of good. I'm liking the way we're discussing this because it's just sort of how it could be. It's different ways of looking at the same situation.
I live my life in hypotheticals, and for anyone who has attended law school or is currently attending law school, you feel my pain.
Wait, you think we have law people listening? We have lawyers listening to this?
Some lawyers are listening. I don't know. It could happen. My stepdad's a lawyer. He might listen. I don't know.
Maybe.
He's got a lot going on. But, yeah, hypothetically, let's say that same video that we've all seen was a picture or a video of two white guys walking up to each other, shaking hands and going, what's up, my N-word? Do you think they would have gotten expelled?
No. But I don't
think so either.
I don't think all hell would have broken loose. I think there would have been an uproar by someone. There would have been people that would have been there would have been problems.
I don't feel confident that would have made it to the front page of Reddit.
No.
I don't think enough people would care because that is so commonplace and its usage is so non-threatening. The difference is the message in that video was very threatening. I'm not even sure. Oh yeah, they did use the word.
Yes.
Which was bad, but really, truly, that wasn't the bad part of what they said.
No, I understand that. Again, I'm not saying what they said is okay. My camera just went dead, by the way, which is why you're seeing a picture of me right now instead of video of me.
But if you're seeing a picture of me, I'm going like this.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought we needed that.
So, at the heart of this whole thing, though, is the desensitization?
Desensitization? Something like that. People are desensitized.
Yes, people are desensitized to these words.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they hear them in music.
Yes.
I can't speak on my behalf, but I've witnessed people that are drunk that are reciting things they've heard in the past, unknowingly in some cases. They're singing songs that they didn't know are really bad. They're singing songs that have the N-word in them because they're rapping to this popular music that is played on the radio. That is just cleaned enough to clean that out. But then when people soundhound it, they can listen to it on their iPhone and pull it up on iTunes and buy the explicit version. Yeah. That it's so normal to be used by half the population that the other half is like, well, why can't we say it? And that's more at the heart of the argument I'm trying to make. And this is why I want to play this clip from MSNBC. So we'll go ahead and insert that clip here.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's worth noting in the Oklahoma University story, they have 2 students that have been expelled. They have this dorm mother who's been seen on video using racist language that was in a song that she was singing. And clearly, the most horrifying sight on this video is these boys and some women chanting these racist slogans. Having said that, there's this rapper, Waka Flocka Flame, who has performed for these kids in the past on the campus. And he canceled his show at the University of Oklahoma after this video surfaced, saying that in the wake of the video, he's disgusted and disappointed. And you saw him on another network last night. I saw him on another network. I'm shocked and stunned and deeply saddened that they use that word. And then they said, Waka Flocka Flame, thank you very much, good luck to you. And he was gone. And I'm like, I look at his lyrics, and I'm thinking, why wouldn't you ask this guy why you would go on that campus? And if you look at every single song, I guess you call it, he's written, it's a bunch of garbage, full of N-words, full of F-bombs. It's wrong. And he shouldn't be disgusted with them. He should be disgusted with himself. That's all I have to say.
You should book him and refer to him as Mr. Flame.
Waka Flocka Flame. Thank you very much. I was like,
it's unbelievable.
What happened?
We're also going to be talking.
Because it's like, popular culture becomes a cesspool. A lot of corporations profit off it, and then people are surprised that some drunk 19-year-old kids repeat what they've been hearing.
Exactly.
And
by the way, he shouldn't be disgusted when he sings that or raps it.
Anybody that watches Empire knows that 70% of the audience is white.
Oh, my Lord.
The kids that are buying hip-hop or gangster rap, as Mark wanted us to call it, Moriel wanted us to call it, it's a white audience, and they hear this over and over again. So do they hear this at home? Well, chances are good, no. They heard a lot of this from guys like this who are now acting shocked.
Willie wants to get in. He's the expert. He's the expert on this panel.
I agree, and as I said in the last hour, I'd love to never hear that word again, another song, white, black, or otherwise. But there is a distinction between a bunch of white kids chanting about hanging someone from a tree, using that word in a hateful way.
I'm certainly not defending
And this is a term that you hear in hip-hop that African-American guys sometimes in certain contexts call each other. I don't like it, but you hear it in songs. Jay-Z used to say it all the time. The most famous rappers in the world say it. Again, I'm not defending it, but there is a distinction between white kids on a bus talking about hanging someone and Waka Flocka singing.
Well, of course there is. But if Waka Flocka is going on CNN acting shocked and stunned and deeply sad when he uses the word every 3 times.
Talks about murdering people, shooting people, F-bombing.
Not exactly.
Women, very nice treatment of women, I'm sure.
Abusing women.
Tipper Gore, of course, tried to raise this issue and was widely ridiculed when she was the wife of the vice president. I remember defending her. If you were in it at all, a cool place like this, you could not defend it.
No, we would have scorned you. Just like we're scorning Mark Halperin kissing up to
absolutely not the
Hillary
same.
Clinton.
Okay.
What's interesting is I like what she said at the top of the clip when she was saying like, "Look, Waka Flocka Flame," which again.
I do love that name.
Leading social correspondent, Waka Flocka Flame. Thank you, Mr. Flame. Have a great night.
Mr. Flame.
Yeah.
That's great. Or is it Mr. Flocka Flame?
Is Flocka his middle name? Or is it like a hyphenated last name?
Flocka Flame?
Yeah.
Mr. Flocka Flame?
Mr. Flocka Flame.
Or Waka Flocka
Flame.
What? I'd be interested to know. I'd like to look that up.
Yeah, a man who's got a teardrop tattooed under his eye, Waka Flocka Flame. Probably not an individual you want your children around.
No, probably not. Generally, if people have teardrops tattooed under their eyes, I don't really... I mean, I'm not that hip to prison tattoos, but I think
I'm pretty sure that's a bad one.
I think that one's pretty well known.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out on a limb and say I know what that means, but I think I know what it means. And if it does, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. And, people idolize him. People do. There are people that have posters of like Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg or whatever the hell his name is now. Snoop Lion, the artist formerly known as Snoop Lion Dog. Man.
Yeah, I think he's back to Snoop Dogg.
Is he Snoop Puppy? Is that what his kid's name is?
He could be. That'd be neat. No, I think he's back to Snoop Dogg.
Anyway, every song he writes is all about weed. He's been arrested for weed God knows how many times.
A whole mess of times.
I can't stand listening to him just because he sounds stupid.
Oh, but see that scene at the beginning of Old School?
That's totally different.
I love that. That is one of the funniest parts of that movie, which is a hilarious movie. So.
But it's just the fact that Waka Flocka Flame has songs that use that word aggressively, not just meaning his friends. He uses it as a punishing term as well. As a rude term.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's totally fine for him to do it, and he's performed for that fraternity. That was like they mentioned that in the clip, is that he's performed at that school for that fraternity and a group of other Greek life and played songs that mention those words, that use that word.
Right.
And they could have been, let's say a video was released of them saying the words to the song, but taken out of context, or someone that doesn't listen to Waka Flocka Flame and knows that it doesn't know that those words are in that song, they hear it and think they're being racist then too. And again, I'm using hypotheticals here, which we've been doing a lot actually, but is that he was quoted saying, again, mentioned in the clip, he's insulted and shocked and appalled that they would use these terms, not just the racial, not the clip says you can hang them from a tree, but they'll never be an SAE, is essentially part of the clip. That's not what he was commenting on at that point. The quote that that was taken, and this is by MSNBC. Their slogan is "Lean Forward," which could be taken many ways.
I never thought of it that way, but that's quite
literally their logo. The O in forward is the Obama O. It's not, but it should be.
It could be.
Yeah, they fight the White House's agenda. Anyway, they had the balls to ask a question that needed to be asked. Why is he shocked and appalled at this stuff when he says it all the time? And then it was rebutted that, well, that it's different for a white person to say it than a black person. And then that's more at the heart of my argument, and I've said it like 4 times already, is it should be no one can say it, everyone can say it, but there's not, well, based on the pigment of your skin is what we'll factor in about 14 different reasons as to why it may or may not be okay for you to say.
I will say that the pigment of your skin can, in this case, refer to an insular and discrete minority with a history of racial discrimination and mistreatment by the alleged white majority, which I don't really believe exists, because the Supreme Court tells me it doesn't.
Stop,
really
you're playing the
exist,
victim card, too.
I'm not playing the victim.
You're playing the history card.
Well,
yes.
The history card is the real card.
But are there people living today that have ever been slaves, been enslaved, I'll give you mistreated, but in the newer generation, I'm talking the 20-somethings, our generation, that have been mistreated, that are still playing the victim card just because of their history as a people.
I would wager that there are people in our age group who have been mistreated. I would definitely say yes, I have met people still alive today who have been arrested for eating at a restaurant.
Right, I'm not. I gave you the civil rights movement because.
So I do think that, and I will concede to what you were saying earlier, where when we're talking about anger and aggression, aggressively charged use of these phrases by anybody, regardless of color, regardless of race, regardless of any of that, should be wrong. I don't think that one should be able to play each side.
But yet it is allowed right now, and that's fundamentally there's an issue there. It's a lot of up and down, yes, no, maybe, depending on what time of day it was, and were there enough black people at your event to be considered not racist. But one more thing. Let's say, again, hypothetically, this is my last thought, and again, I cannot emphasize this enough. I wish my camera was working.
You can use mine for a second.
I cannot emphasize this enough. I am not a racist.
And I don't think anyone thinks you are. Least of all me.
Well,
for the record.
I have friends that are liberals. Well, they're not friends. They're people I know that are liberals. And probably will, after watching this video, call me a racist, call me a bunch of stuff I don't want to be called. Like how I censor myself even though...
I know, we don't have to censor ourselves, but we still do. We're so used to it.
Yeah.
Well, let me go on the record as this guy sitting here, I don't think you're racist.
I am not a racist. I do not condone what was said in that fraternity. The only thing is that I will fight tooth and nail their right to say what they want to say. And that is what I want to say there. And then the only other argument I had is, what if it was a black fraternity? We'll say Xi Chi or something like that. I'm thinking of Road Trip, the movie Road Trip, where they're from the Ithaca chapter.
Great one. The Ithaca chapter.
We're from the Ithaca chapter of Xi Chi, really. But let's say there was a chant like that. You can turn your camera around.
All right,
I just wanted to emphasize the fact that I am not a racist. I do not believe in racially charged crime. I'm not okay with anything from either side. I'm one of those people going, it's not okay for a black person to commit a racially charged crime. It's not okay for a white person to commit a racially charged crime. Not okay for anyone. But let's say it was a black fraternity saying racially charged terms. Again, well, I can't think of any, just because I'm not prepared for this show. And honestly, if I said them, I'd probably like all hell would break loose and I'd be taken off the air immediately.
We'd be the next ones on CNN and MSNBC.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'd have to legally change my name to Mr. Morales on the mic.
We'd get a lot more listeners,
exposure,
a lot more viewers. I bet we could turn this
into
a regular thing.
We're on Rush Limbaugh tomorrow. But just at the heart of this whole thing is, what if a black fraternity was saying racially charged terms, there will never be a cracker in Xi Chi, and that video was exposed? Good on you. Good. Be proud of who you are. Blah blah blah. Why is it okay to essentially provide affirmative action into said fraternity versus SAE? Why is color a difference between your moral compass? And that's just something we need to evaluate. What bends your moral compass one way or the other? What's the magnet that's guiding it? And why is color still at the heart? You may claim to not be a racist, but if you're factoring the fact that their skin is a certain color into why something they said is morally repugnant or morally acceptable, you are actually making a judgment based entirely on race.
I definitely think that if that happened, that would be construed as racist, for sure.
But it would not be highlighted the way it is. the way this current situation
No, I don't
is.
think it would be. I wouldn't expect it to get the same kind of attention or the same kind of criticism, and the only real viable explanation for that, and I know you're calling it the victim card, but I would have to go back to, is a history of discrimination. And I know that sounds like a cop-out.
It is a cop-out, though. At this point, it is a cop-out.
I don't know
again,
that
I'm not trying to be a racist. I'm not saying that there were and I'm not trying to say that I'm not talking to you in this case. I'm talking to the people that are probably waiting for me to slip up.
I just continue to want to make it clear that I don't think you're a racist, and this conversation is not a bad conversation.
Right.
This is a good conversation.
Right, because it's two views that people need to hear, and people can agree with you, me, or both of us on certain things.
What? People can agree with two different things?
Yes.
Come
wow.
on, man. Don't get crazy.
Well, which is funny because you and I agree on a lot of issues.
We do.
And we disagree on some of the more fundamental, like the little nitty-gritty stuff. Is big picture, what do we agree with? The same thing.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's when you break it down into just sort of like, at the heart of this, I disagree, you agree. There we go. Ta-da.
Well, that, and if we talked about all the things we agreed about, it wouldn't be a very interesting show. Why would we talk about it? We'd just be telling each other what we already think.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I think
that's
great.
Exactly
right. Now let's do this for 45 more minutes.
Yeah.
That'd be no fun.
So I do want to make it a point. I am not a racist. I never will be a racist. But in the generational area, I'm saying if college-age students released a video like that, they should, if they were black and said there will not be a cracker in Xi Kai or whatever, they would not be met with the same resistance. And I don't think, and this is where I don't think the victim card should be allowed to be played anymore, is they have not fallen victim to it. They may have fallen victim to someone being a racist. There are racists in the world.
For sure.
But I guarantee you that they've made some sort of racial comment towards a white person as well. No one is perfect. And yes, there are exceptions to rules. There are exceptions to every rule.
Like me, I'm the exception of that perfect rule.
There are exceptions to every rule. So you can't say that one person is justified in their thinking because of a history that they're not a part of anymore. Again.
And you're right that they're not a part of it anymore. I mean, definitely 1964 passage of the Civil Rights Act made a huge difference.
Right, it made and it changed the world.
Things have changed. Things are dramatically different from what they were. I don't think it's far enough in our past that we've been able to move on from that.
I don't think we can write it off.
I do hope that a day comes where you and I could have this same exact conversation, and I would agree with you 100% that this is such a long thing, so far out that we don't feel the sting of that. No, society doesn't feel the sting of that.
No one feels owed anything.
And I know that 20-somethings, early 20-somethings, they probably haven't felt it the way their parents did. Right. Definitely not the way their grandparents, great-grandparents did. Right. But the fact remains that it is so close to our history in the grand scheme of things. We haven't moved far enough away from it, and it is a double standard. For sure, it's a double standard. But it's a double standard that exists because of the way our history unfolded. And I think until we've had a lot more time to heal, that double standard will continue to exist because the healing's not done.
Little food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, something to think about.
Yes.
I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. I'll be checking them.
But again, and please share this clip. This is going to be a weird clip. I'm going to have to actually post it on YouTube and then link it back to Facebook because Facebook has a 20-minute limit. But
gotta love them.
But please share this clip because it's just to get people talking. That's the whole idea. Is first of all exposure for the show. I'm not going to lie. The reason why I'm doing this is for exposure for the show.
Well, obviously,
share it. Share it so people can hear about it.
You don't do a show so you don't grow and get more listeners and viewers. That'd be silly.
So please share this with people. Let them share their opinions. we both are very accepting of the fact that people disagree with us. I'm sitting across from someone who disagrees with me on several things.
Like that Florida shirt you're wearing. I disagree with you on that.
I disagree with myself on this shirt. It was just the clean shirt I had.
Good man, I'll take it.
But it's more just the fact that we want to encourage discussion, and especially amongst our generation. Willie and I are both in our 20s. We want to encourage 20-year-olds, a little younger, a little older, to be talking about things that are socially important, things that are pertinent to our society, not who's getting drunk where and who's got a kid at 18. The whole damn world is just as obsessed with who's the best dressed and who's having sex. It's a Bowling for Soup song called "High School Never Ends." And it's true.
Very pertinent.
I kind of want to play the song, but it is. It's the whole damn world is just as obsessed with who's the best dressed and who's having sex.
Well, and on that same vein,
not worried about the fact that right now we have a president who is doing an absolutely atrocious job dealing with international crises. He is not handling our international affairs well at all. And he is using this was interesting. I was reading an article about this today. Is he keeps using the term ISIL instead of ISIS. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, I think we talked about this.
How the Obama administration is using the term ISIL instead of ISIS. The problem with ISIL is it includes Israel, who is an ally of the United States. But he's using that term. He's the only person using that term. Only the White House administration are the people using the term ISIL instead of ISIS, because ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iran and Syria. ISIL means the Islamic State of Syria and the Levant, I believe is what it is, which includes several countries, including Israel. And that's where the problem is he is lumping our ally, who the prime minister of their country just came over to explain how we need to be two very strong allies. We're two of the strongest countries in the world. We need to remain strong. He lumped them in a terrorist group by using the term ISIL. We're trying to... Again, back from the tangent, we're trying to encourage people our age to discuss it. I've gotten my friend Riley into talking about politics. He's actively interested in politics. He listens to talk radio now because of what I was doing with him. I would sit there and just sort of talk him through what was going on. And I said, what I'm going to do is provide you just the facts, and then I'll provide you my spin on it, which is what I tend to do a lot on this show. Is I will read something exactly as is, and then I will provide a commentary on it,
which is good. That's
what you want to get from a show like this. And I just need it drives me crazy to see so many misinformed people, including people that I associate with, posting so-called political commentaries on Facebook that they're so misinformed that they're posting them blindly, getting people to agree with them, and they're so fundamentally backwards, it doesn't even make sense. There was one I saw recently about global warming that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, scientists, the examples were the Earth is round, or the Earth was flat, so explain why, or if the Earth is round, explain why I can put a level on the ground, and it says it's flat instead of rolling. That science has disproved everything that we know to be true. Except for one thing. Science has already proven that climate change is cyclical. It has existed years, millions of years prior to our existence, and will continue to exist millions of years after.
Now, this may be getting into a conversation for another day.
It is. We've got to get out of here soon. We're over an hour, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we are. Just over an hour. Good call. But on that, I will say I think the general consensus, like 95% of the scientific community, taking from peer-reviewed journals, has said that greenhouse gas levels are up like I don't know, some huge amount between 1970 and 2004 with 95% certainty that human activity has been a leading cause to that dramatic rise. So I think that's worth noting. But I want to get back, and we can come back to this and do a whole other show on it. But the thing I want to get back to, because these are two of my biggest things, actually, you hit on one of the things that I am most passionate about and has just... I can't even say it. I'm too invested in this idea that people don't take the time to understand what they need to understand. They see something on the internet, they hear something that a friend tells them, they read something in a newspaper, they take it at face value. And face value is never what you're getting from a media outlet. If you see something on the internet, if you see a headline, if you see something that your friend posted,
look it up.
Find something. If you find something on Fox News, go find the same story on MSNBC. Look for the consistencies. Look for the inconsistencies. Find the source. Go to the AP. If you can't find anything from that, if it's about a video, if it's about something somebody said, go watch it. Listen. Get a backstory. There is so much that we don't understand. And I'm not saying that I understand it all, because let me tell you, I don't understand it all. There is so much that I don't understand. But the things
Way
that
to
I
work
don't
the camera there.
Yeah, I had to. The things that I don't understand, I do my best to find out.
And understand.
If I don't understand them, if I continue to not understand them, if it's a voting issue and I just am incapable of finding the information I need to understand, I abstain. If it's a voting issue and I can find the information, I find the information and I vote. If it's a social issue, if it's a political issue, a conversational issue, even to the point of as small as St. Augustine, if there's something happening in St. Augustine and someone tells me, oh, this happened, and this happened, I'm going to say, okay, who told you this happened? When did this happen? Where did this happen? I want to know
where's the documentation?
More, and I want to find out for real, because there are so many people who are going to tell you something that is so far off from the truth. They may not be lying. They may not set out to lie, but they very well may set out to mislead you. They may well set out to do any number of things. Most of them is going to be somehow to increase their bottom line. Don't take a story at face value, even if it comes from us, because guess what? We are fallible. We are wildly imperfect.
We are fallible, and we're providing a commentary.
Exactly. We are not.
My show is a commentary, not a news show.
No, and we're not
I'm not headlines.
We don't know everything.
But then again, neither is Waka Flocka Flame.
Mr. Flame is also not an expert.
It's not a social
I'm not
expert.
sure why CNN would turn to Mr. Flame for his
I know exactly why CNN
I know
would
exactly why they
turn
would
to
do
them.
that.
He said exactly what they needed to say.
And that right there is an illustration of why just hearing it, seeing it, talking to your friends about it, not enough. Find out things. Find out the truth. It takes a little time, takes a little effort, but at the end of the day, you might have an idea of what's really going on in the world.
Also, The Onion is not a reputable source of media. It's a satire website, and I can't tell you how many people share a story and are like, oh my God, I can't believe this entire world. I'm like, source The Onion. I'm like, really?
I have to say, one of my all-time favorite headlines was something to the effect of Goldman Sachs executive reports, we're blowing up a hospital, and, quote, there's nothing you can do about it. I loved it. The Onion is hilarious, but don't take it as news.
Yeah, don't take it as news, and please, and Willie said this, make your own opinion. Form your own opinion. It's nice to listen. If you want a person's opinion, listen to a show like this, Morales on the Mic, which is weekday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on, not right here. Sorry, I'm used to being on air. On CBS 1420 and 96.5 FM in St. Augustine, or online worldwide on the TuneIn Radio app. Just search WAOC, which stands for America's Oldest City. It's a pretty easy way to remember it. So if you want to know what some people's commentaries are, listen to commentary shows. My show, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, to a lesser extent.
Bill Maher.
I'm not a fan of
commentary, not news, not perfect.
Right. To a lesser extent, Jon Stewart, who was no longer doing the Daily Show anyway.
But God, he was funny.
He was funny, but politically screwed up. He was backwards in many things.
He's a sharp guy, though. He's
funny.
Very bright guy.
But yeah, please, you can listen to other people's commentaries. Again, usually some stuff like this, a topic will be talked about for 20, 30, 45 minutes. is about how long a topic can be talked about on a show. In my show, usually it's 20 minutes we're talking about one topic. That way I can cover, theoretically, in a 60-minute, in an hour, I can talk about 3 topics I want to discuss. That's how I structure my show, is I take 20 minutes to talk about whatever pissed me off the day before or that morning, 20 minutes to talk about something humorous or play a game or something that is kind of zany or whatever, but also true, and then 20 minutes to talk about something that is seriously messed up or something that needs to be discussed. And I'm hoping that we can reach more of the Flagler College area, the Flagler College age group, which I need to work on that. You and I need to work together to get people in the Flagler College area to be actively listening to this show.
I think so, too.
And encourage interaction.
Well, one thing, and this is speaking, again, at a local level, Flagler College, the students, I would say, largely don't realize it. Flagler College on its own has the ability to control the elections of the city of St. Augustine.
Because they're the largest population.
So much happens that is the result of or impacts Flagler College. Yeah. Either something Flagler College does or something that will impact Flagler College. Right. And such a small portion of them vote. They have the power on their own to affect our city's future. Use that power. So I wish I had that power. Yeah. Embrace it.
People listening, people that have stumbled upon this because someone shared it on their Facebook page, please spread this, especially to the Flagler College area. Tell them about our show. Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. A broadcast show that people can listen to. And then also, I think we could do this weekly or something like that.
I think so too, yeah.
Like a podcast where we just sort of talk about what we want to talk about. There's no commercial breaks, we're just able to talk.
It's easy.
And I'll work on getting a working camera.
Something that lasts a little longer.
Yes, because apparently my iPad's not worthy. I'd bring my MacBook. The problem is it would take half an hour to turn on. So,
and who's got time for that?
No one. Anyway, so thanks for listening to this podcast. I think it's about time we wrap it up.
It's been a long one.
But what you've learned from the show, from today's podcast, is to please make an opinion for yourself. Have an opinion. Do your research. This was our opinion. I was able to discuss my opinion, and this is what is so great about our country, is that I was able to speak freely without any fear of being convicted for thinking and expressing my belief that a word should not be punished one way versus another way due to your race. Willie was able to exercise his freedom of speech to completely disagree with me, and it's totally fine. I appreciate that you have taken the time to listen to the show. I appreciate wonderful Webb Willie's time on the show today.
I was glad to be here. This was a fun conversation.
And I was able to voice my opinion and then tell you, this is a request. I said tell, which makes it commanding. A request. Please share this on your Facebook page. It takes 2 seconds. You click the share button and it shares it immediately. Sometimes I accidentally hit it. I'm like, when did I share that? So it takes 2 seconds to do. Share it. Even if you want to write something about it. That'd be great.
We welcome it. Want to hear it.
Spread the word about the show. And always come back here to the Facebook page to find more information. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever I post this, just always come back to it for more information, more clips from the show. I'm going to get a whole lot better about recording the shows and taking a single clip from each show and putting them online.
I like it.
It'll be great for advertising too. Still looking for sponsors? You can contact me, Andrew, at 965sports.com. That's ANDREW at, which is that little A in a circle, 965sports.com. That's how you can get a hold of me for advertising opportunities. Please do it. It's a great show. Don't worry, my political bias does not impact how well I feel about my sponsors. Just trust me. Antiques and Uniques, Larry and I do not always see eye to eye. Hell, Home Theater Concepts, my dad and I don't see eye to eye. And I'll plug him any day of the week. It's not the fact that it's my dad. It's because they believe in the show. You may not fundamentally agree with me in certain issues, but you believe in the show. You believe in the fact that people need to be talking. And that's what I want to emphasize, is political discussion. We've said that already. We're kind of getting into loops. Morales on the mic, weekday mornings, 9 a.m. on CBS 1420 and 96.5. We're doing it now, where I have to pull my mic over so I can get over to the computer. This is what it looks like when I have to cue some outro music or something like that. Anyway,
it's been a blast.
Weekday mornings, 9 a.m. on CBS 1420 and 96.5 FM, WAOC, worldwide online with the TuneIn Radio App. Thank you, wonderful Web Willie, for joining me on the show today.
Glad to be here.
Oh, I want to go home now.
Me too.
It's like 7:50 at night right now. It's going to be another 2 hours for me to edit this and then toss it online.
So it's time to go home.
Yeah. And then we'll be right back at it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember to share this on Facebook.